Yes, my name is James Clark. I'm an injured worker out of the state of Idaho. And because I won't get any justice in the state of Idaho, I will be going to the federal courthouse in Portland, Oregon, Monday, December 23rd, to demand justice. Lynn Luker, you stated that in this letter, right here, because you did take over my case in January 7th of 2010. I hope that you ain't putting it also as January of 2009, Mr. Lynn Luker. Well, it doesn't matter. Mr. Lynn Luker, September 1st, 2010, you wrote a letter to me, and let me read it to you. You had my case. You had what I'm going to read to you from the very beginning. And then you wrote me this letter in September. You had it in January, and you wrote this in September. Reference your Social Security disability claim. Dear Jim, after considering the various aspects of your case, I had decided that it'd be best if I not represent you on the Social Security disability claim. As we discussed at the mediation on your workers' compensation claim, I have not yet filed anything with Social Security indicating that I am your attorney. It continues to be unclear whether we will be able to settle your workers' compensation claim. If the work comp case does not settle, then certainly you will want to maintain your Social Security appeal. On the other hand, if at some point, which is not an appeal because there was never an appeal to it, because Lynn Luker, isn't it true that I filed this Social Security protectively in September of 2009? It continues to be unclear whether you will be able to settle your workers' compensation claim. If the work comp case does not settle, then certainly you will want to maintain your Social Security appeal. On the other hand, if at some point we do make further progress on settling your work comp claim, it may be advantageous. There may be advantages to you to dismiss the Social Security claim to avoid the Medicare review and the disability benefit offset. You want me to do something illegal there, Mr. Lynn Luker? We may not know that until the actual work comp hearing date, as it is always possible, although perhaps not probable, that the work comp case could settle up to that date. In order not to complicate the Social Security matter procedural, I think it'd be best that I not file a notice of representation at this time. It is best that I not file a notice of representation at this time, and that it probably will not help you to have an attorney file one at least before the workers' compensation hearing date. Presently, Social Security disability hearings are at least a year or probably closer to 2 years out from the date you filed your hearing request. That I filed it? Additionally, although I occasionally handle Social Security claims, there are a number of other attorneys out there who are more experienced in it and handle it as a steady diet. It would probably be in your best interest to retain an attorney that concentrates more fully on Social Security and get their advice on the handling or dismissing of your claim. For these reasons, I am canceling our agreement on the Social Security disability claim, and you do not owe me any money on that claim. In beginning work on your Social Security claim, I did send Dr. Steinberg, my psychiatrist, the one that helped me deal with not wanting to cut off my arm, the one that gave me the medication to comprehend a lot of the stuff. To Dr. Steinberg, questionnaire regarding your PTSD, which contains specific information that the Social Security Administration looks for in evaluating disability. Well, I'll just leave that. But Mr. Lynn Luker, you had my claim. You filed this in September. Okay, September. But then again, this is the Social Security determination letter. After you quit, I did follow through with it. But you are the one that quit, Mr. Lynn Luker, on my complaint that I had filed that you took over. Okay, right here, Mr. Lynn Luker. Right here. Right here, it says. Right here, it says. The case is. Let me see here, man. It says the case is before the undersigned on a request for hearing dated July 20th of 2010. Now, Mr. Lynn Luker, now, how could I have done that on my own? I'm not the one. You had my case. You had my Social Security case. So again, because I did call up Social Security, because I wanted to know who filed that. Again, they said I did. I said, no, I had an attorney. You see, Lynn, you know, again, I've been reading up today also about how the ethic rules, because you are a Idaho state legislator, and the ethical rules as a legislator, Lynn Luker, you are vice chair of the Judicial Council. You should have never even have represented me in the first place. But what you did when the commission assigned you to my case, you came in to protect Mr. Donahue, which was the referee, or the judge, as it calls, that was set in place for the hearing. You came in to protect him of his abuse of authority by allowing the Idaho State Insurance Fund and their attorneys to try to make me sign some HIPAA medical release forms for medical private records that they had already had and sent to doctors that I found out before I signed them. So again, man, look, you didn't come to help me. And then what you filed in February, and then, you know, Lynn Luker, I'm telling you, man. You know, then you file this letter here in March because I'm being forced to give them all these interrogatorial questions and all these. I'm being demanded. I've given it been a date, my complaint or my claim, because they do word both of them, because it is a complaint. When the law firm of Anderson Julian Hall came into the picture, is when I found out, and they tried to force me back to work in the manner that they did. I filed my first complaint, and then I have another one where it clearly states by the law firm that I had filed my other complaint, and it was being filed in November of 2000. And 2009, just before you came in, Lynn Luker. But then you write this, Mr. Lynn Luker, on March 5th of 2010. I am writing in regards to the motion to vacate telephone conference filed by Ms. Obar in the above matter. Claimant concurs in the request. No, I didn't. Furthermore, the motion was the first notice that claimant counsel had regarding the reference telephone status conference. Now that's a lie. Because when he responded to what he did in February, yeah, okay, Mr. Lynn Luker. What, you didn't think I was going to make it this far? I'm not a quitter. Regarding the telephone conference, at the present time, the parties are still engaged in discovery, and a medical evaluation commissioned by the defendants is pending. They sent me to a panel. Yeah. A telephone conference is not necessary at this point. At least from claimant's perspective, bullshit. I've been arguing I want them to come before the Industrial Commission to show why they are in receipt of private health records that's protected under a federal law. A telephone conference is not necessary at this point, at least from claimant's perspective. If the Commission feels that a conference is necessary, claimant's counsel would request that it not be set until at least 10 days after the current legislative session. Mr. Lynn Luker, and then you quit on me because you weren't doing a goddamn thing for Mr. Lynn Luker? Excuse my French? Mr. Lynn Luker, still, I have still not seen the reason why you quit. Oh, I know what it was. December 15th of 2010, I received a letter from Social Security Disability wanting a copy of my medical records. I discussed again with you that I would like a copy of because Social Security needs them. But I truly found out also, Lynn Luker, that I could have been collecting Social Security Disability and still fighting my workers' comp instead of being broke. But you see, Mr. Lynn Luker, you lied again. Because you had my case, you had my Social Security in June. When that hearing request was asked for. Again, this case before the undersigned on a request for a hearing dated July 20th of 2010. Because I filed for the Social Security while I was in the hospital based upon my doctors wanted me to go in. That's when I filed it in September of 2009. Isn't that right, Mr. Lynn Luker? Protected me. Because I was inside of a hospital when I'm done. Based upon my injury. And that's exactly what they did. It's based upon my injury. And the same identical medical records that you all tried to alter because Lynn Luker, 3 of those binders that you presented of the 4 to the Industrial Commission, which if you read my CDs that I have, Mr. Lynn Luker, it doesn't even state what's in those records, other than those records are only for dates, because Mr. Clark seems to be confused on dates. I wasn't aware what was in those records. You sure in the hell did, didn't you, Mr. Lynn Luker? Because they keep saying, "Oh, but he had a competent attorney. He didn't argue about or whatever the hell he was supposed to have done on my behalf. But he didn't do nothing other than try to fuck me. And you have, Mr. Lynn Luker. But you know what? Paybacks are a bitch. Because I can't get nobody to help me, so I can try to concentrate on my life that you guys have destroyed. I only wish somebody would come by and take this off my hands. But because of you, Lynn Luker, nobody will do it. So I'm going to have to do it myself, as I have stated to the Industrial Commission in writing. If I don't stand up for myself, nobody's going to do it for me. And how many innocent people have you guys done this to and have actually got away with it? Because to me, I don't believe there was a Supreme Court hearing or oral argument. Imagine that, because every time I try to talk to somebody about it, yeah, I'm all over the place. But man, if somebody would just take the time, just fucking sit down and just listen, I could start from A to B. But when I'm on the phone, I got to put so much into, it's overwhelming. Because really, all these documents, all these thousands of pages of documents that I have since May 2nd of 2012, I'm not even supposed to really have, am I? Especially because of all the alterations and how they're being altered from 2009, I believe. Miss Rachael Obar, what the hell is really going on? I'm going to find out real soon. Because when I go to Portland, Oregon, to the federal building, because I will demand justice, because I won't get justice in the state of Idaho. Guaranteed. 100% fact. Because of you, Mr. Lynn Luker, who's an Idaho legislator, who is vice chair of the Judicial Council, which is also in charge of making sure the rules are followed there. And isn't it funny how Mr. Lynn Luker, since the first of this year, if the person really looked into it, how you guys have changed a lot of things in regards to the Industrial Commission, how things are done now, about how complaints are done with the commission, how affidavits are done now, how things are done under oath. How, Miss Obar? How, Miss Owens, who lied under oath? How about you, Miss Obar? And Mr. Hall? I don't care if the commission lied. Okay? So I'll tell you what, Mr. Hall. I do care. This is my life. For you guys to put things that you shouldn't have been putting in the records, to bring hatred towards me, how fucking dare you? I'm coming.